live on the air. I'm Richard Sales.
This is wild.
Hello, welcome back to another episode of Lounge Time. I'm your host, Rich Sale. 3 crazy comebacks. One of them being the largest comeback, possibly the greatest comeback ever. Another team up 17-0, blown lead. Another team, 17-point lead, and blew it. We got a lot to get into. Those 3 comebacks, a terrible, terrible sequence. And we've got some games to pick on this crazy week of Lounge Time. All right, since I am not using my baseball cap, and since we've got the holiday coming up, we've got a different feeling to recapping with Rich. So we're going to do recapping, holiday edition. So yes, I'm wearing it for the whole show. You know what? We got to get into the holiday spirit, so we got a recapping with Rich holiday edition. Starting off with last Thursday night's game, Niners and the Seahawks. Had a lot of things on this game, mainly from my fantasy playoff standpoint, and it went really well for me. But let's talk about the game. Brock Purdy was very good, 17-26 for 219, 2 touchdowns. Did get away with 1 interception. Well, he didn't throw it, but he got away with a possible INT. Christian McCaffrey ran wild like I predicted. 26 carries, 108 yards, and a touchdown. I said all week Seattle's run defense has been bad, and it continued to look bad. But we're talking about the Niners side of things. George Kittle, 25 fantasy points he gave me. Good shit, Kittle. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. 4 catches, 93 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had a big day. If you had him in fantasy, good for you, like I did. Defense, I also had them in fantasy this week. 13 points allowed. Travarius Ward had the fumble recovery. They got 3 sacks. This is the best defense in the league, bar none in a way. Okay? When I look at everybody else, it's the Niners defense, and then it's just everybody else. Cincinnati's underrated. Buffalo's good, but not Niners good, okay? I look at teams like Dallas. They're good, but they're missing that extra piece that would put them over the top, right? I'm trying to think. The Saints defense took a step back. Tampa, they just give up too many big plays, and they're good, but not Niners good to where you can depend on them to win a game. So the Niners defense, they're head and shoulders above everybody as the best defense in football. There's ones that are close, but not as good as them. Robbie Gould did have the missed field goal that would have made it a knockout punch. Instead, you had to sweat that last series for sure. 6-13 on 3rd down, pretty good. 7 penalties, though, they'll clean up. 7 straight wins. I think that's the longest active winning streak right now in the league. 7 straight wins. Wow. I mean, listen. After watching last Thursday night's game, they are the team I think that could beat the Eagles. And I'm not saying it just because of one game. I'm looking at when I made the midseason prediction. Okay, before Jimmy Garoppolo went down, top to bottom, they can match the Eagles from a roster standpoint. Sure, the Eagles have a better quarterback than the Niners as of right now. But I do believe, especially what I've recently seen out of Philly the last couple weeks and in the second half of the season, I think the Niners have the formula to go into Philly and win it all. Not just win the NFC, win it all. Yep. Okay? The oldest saying in the book goes, running game, defense travel. They have both. And you've got Brock Purdy playing really well like he is now. Okay? Sure, we need to see a step up in class, but the 3 teams he's played, he's been very good. And that's a good sign for the Niners when they go in the playoffs. So, 49ers are going to be not only a tough out, they're going to be hard to beat. And I think they represent the NFC, which brings me to Seattle. Geno Smith, 31 of 44, 238 yards, touchdown. He was good. Got that touchdown in garbage time. Thought he was all right. Running game was okay. Tyler Lockett, who I also had in fantasy, 7 catches, 68 yards. DK Metcalf, 7 for 55. Noah Fant had the receiving touchdown. That offensive line of Seattle, 3 sacks allowed. They had a long, rough night. They got beat up front. They went at the 2 young tackles, Charles Cross, and his name is escaping me right now. Maybe I'll think of his name later in the show, but I can't think of it off the tip of my tongue. 21 points allowed. 1 sack the defense gave up. Seattle's hitting a very bad, low light. They were good early in the year, and they've come back down to earth. All right? And, I know it's the holidays, but somebody picked them to make the playoffs. They got a chance still. I know the Rams aren't going to make it. They're officially out. I'll take the L for that one. But what if no one won that prediction? Interesting, right? I told you there was going to be issues with that defense. I didn't think they were going to get gashed by the run. I thought it was going to be the other way around. Didn't work out that way. 0 takeaways the defense got. They had the fumble that essentially, led to a Niners score. 4 of 13 on 3rd down. Not very good. 8 penalties for 79 yards and the turnover. Seattle has a rough 3 games left. They've got to go 2 Chiefs. They got the Jets at home. And they got the Rams to close out the year. And you've got teams ahead of you and behind you that are capable of making a run. I'm not saying Seattle's done, but it's hard to imagine that they're not going to be done in the near future. They cannot stop the run. I have a friend of mine that's listening right now that's a Seahawks fan. Okay, shout out to Joe Sarcelli. Okay, but they got some issues up front. The good news is though, you're going to get the 2nd overall pick because how bad Denver is. You guys clearly won that Russell Wilson trade. I mean, take the 2nd overall pick. You got some things you can figure out. There's some good players you'll be able to get. Well, you might hit a home run the way John Schneider and Pete Carroll, the way they've been drafting. That's the one good thing you guys can say. We did get something great out of that Russell Wilson trade. Did you have thought that it would have been the 2nd pick in the draft? I didn't. But at the time, you guys probably didn't think that. But that's the one good thing you guys have to look forward to. Okay? Colts and the Vikings. I actually was watching a college basketball game I really wanted to watch. I didn't actually watch the first 3.5 quarters. I think I tuned in when it was... No, I didn't watch the first 3 quarters. I didn't watch the first 3 quarters. I tuned in for the 4th, though, after... college basketball game I watched ended. Was watching Gonzaga, Alabama. Wanted to see it. But let's get to the game. Matt Ryan was okay. I wouldn't say anything where it was he just was okay. I mean, again, I feel like the Colts, cannot hit this QB situation. Whether it was Carson Wentz last year, they got Phillip Rivers a 1-year rental. Basically a blockbuster rental for all the early 2000s kids. Yeah, I was one of them. I remember Blockbuster, okay? So Matt Ryan's basically a Blockbuster rental, okay? That's what he is, all right? Running game 8. Jonathan Taylor did get hurt. Sucks he's out for the rest of the season, but Zach Moss, Deion Jackson, day 8, okay? Michael Pittman had 10 catches for 60 yards. I said Jackson had a touchdown, but he had a touchdown receiving. Offensive line, 3 sacks allowed. They've disappointed this year. Different combinations all season. I thought this would be one of the top 5 units in the league. I was 100% wrong on this. Defensively, they just fell apart. The second half said it all. 39 points allowed, 2 fumble recoveries, 7 sacks, 11 quarterback hits. They did get 2 interceptions. One of them was a pick six by Blackman for a touchdown. They had the block punt for a touchdown. But you gave up 39 points in the second half plus overtime. Ouch. Ouch. Then they had a fumble, and they had a turnover on downs as their missed opportunities. That turnover on downs, you convert that, we're having a different conversation. But that turnover on downs gave Minnesota the one drive to tie the game. Tough one. That's just not your year. 6 of 19 on third down. Not very good. 1 of 4 in the red zone. That's terrible. 11 penalties for 103 yards. 1 turnover. The Colts, Chris Ballard's on the hot seat. I mean, they have regressed since the first year he took over in 2018. They've regressed. They haven't won a playoff game since 2018. They have only been to the playoffs once. And Frank Reich did blow that game in Buffalo. But Chris Ballard, the last 2 years, has had a good team. But they're not getting the results they want. He's on the hot seat, okay? He is disappointed the last couple years. They've had a good team. They just have not gotten the results they've wanted. Which brings me to the Vikings. Kirk Cousins was good, but that first half was awful. Okay? He ended up 34-54 for 460 yards, for 4 touchdowns, and he did throw 2 INTs. Dalvin Cook ran the ball really well, 17 catches, 95 yards. Did have the go-ahead touchdown to tie the ball game. C.J. Ham ran a touchdown in. K.J. Osborne went off. 10 catches, 157 yards, and a touchdown. Justin Jefferson did what he's been doing all season. 12 catches, 123 yards, and a touchdown. Adam Thielen caught a touchdown. Offensive line, 7 sacks allowed. You better hope you don't play a team that just bullies you up front. Okay? And right now, I think if the season ended, you would play the Commanders, and Chase Young's not back yet. Okay? What if you get the Giants, who like to blitz a lot? That's going to be concerning. Colts are good defense, but the NFC, there's teams with a good front four that can bother you all game. The Niners, the Eagles, Dallas has a front four who they got dismantled by early in the season. The Commanders are going to get Chase Young back. Heck, they gave you a run. And the Giants are a blitzing team. Are you going to be able to block those teams come playoff time? I think they're going to win a game, but I don't think they're going to win the games that matter. Defense gave up 24. That's good. Your offense could score. 3 sacks, a fumble recovery. But guess how many missed opportunities you did have? 5. You had 5. Fumble recovery, turnover on downs, INT, turnover on downs. Most of them were in the first half. I think that's it's not a record, but it's up there. That was bad, okay? 5 of 15 on third down. Not very good. 3 turnovers. 9 penalties for 74 yards. Their luck's running out at some point. Minnesota's good, but they're not of the elites. They're not Eagles. They're not the Niners. But they can get to the second round, but I don't think they're going to. If they get one of those 2, which they're probably going to end up getting, I don't think they're going to. I don't think they're going to win in the divisional. They'd be lucky just to get to the NFC Championship. That defense is a problem. Now their offensive line's been struggling, especially with teams with good front fours. Minnesota's got a rough. I mean, they got a nice schedule to end the year, but playoffs are going to be a sweat for them for sure. Ravens and the Browns. Now, this game I did watch. along with the next game, and then we'll get into the Sunday action. Tyler Huntley was not good. Okay? He was not good. J.K. Dobbins carried 13 for 125. Gus Edwards, 7 carries, 55 yards. Run game 8 against a good run defense. Offensive line, though, still can't pass block. 3 sacks allowed. Defense carried for the most part. They held them to 13. They got 3 sacks. They couldn't get a takeaway. Okay? They had the 1 turnover on down. Okay? Well, actually, no. The Ravens had a ton of missed opportunities. I apologize. Hold on. There's a long list. Okay? The Ravens had a ton of opportunities to make this game winnable. They blew every single one of these missed opportunities. Count with me. Turnover on downs. The first missed field goal by Justin Tucker. Yes, he's human. INT. Fumble. Block field goal. Turnover on downs. Turnover on downs. Turnover on downs. How many did you count? 7. 7 missed opportunities. 7. And you lost by 2 scores. By 10. 7 missed opportunities. I know it snowed the later half of the game. I know. Okay? But damn it. You have to be able to score. Now, I know the Ravens fans are going at Greg Roman's neck because they don't like the way he's calling plays. Wow, me and the Ravens have something in common. I'm getting to my team later, but this is the Ravens right now. But at least Greg Roman has got you to the playoffs consistently. Okay, last year was an outlier. You guys got bit by the injury bug. Okay? Calm down. You're 9-5. You're going to get a wild card by default. Okay? And you might be playing the Titans or the Jaguars. Okay, based on your schedule and what you're going to end up playing. Winnable games. You blew the Jacksonville game early in the year. And Tennessee, you beat them 2 years ago in the playoffs. Why are we getting all worked up about this? You have a backup that can't score. Either Harbaugh has to let his quarterbacks learn to throw the ball downfield, or they're just not as good. And I think they're good, but I don't think they're of the upper elites in the AFC. I don't. But it's just run, and they're predictable. Once you get an offense out for multiple years on tape, teams study you, and they figure you out. And I think they figured out this offense because their offense is just too dependent on the running game. And Tennessee's good against the run, but you've beaten Tennessee before. Okay? Tennessee looks worse than they did when you beat them in the playoffs. Jacksonville is up and coming. You blew that game. You should have won. And look at Jacksonville now. Now, depends how Jacksonville looks at the end of the year. And it depends how Tennessee finishes and that whole division. And it depends how they play. The Ravens down the stretch. Cupcake schedule. Well, not cupcake schedule, but 2 games coming up. They should be winnable. Why are we getting worked up, Ravens? Why are we getting worked up? Calm down. You're going to make the playoffs by default. When you lose, then okay. You can blame Greg Roman, whatever. You're 9-5 at the end of the day. You're going to make the playoffs. Calm down. If you miss the playoffs, then I don't care then. Still, calm down. You're going to be fine. The Steelers lost in Cleveland. Okay? Now you lost in Cleveland. This league is weird. Shit happens. Okay? We got on the wrong end of it, though. My team. We're getting to them later. I'm going off, but 5 of 12 on 3rd down. 0 of 3 on 4th down. Harbaugh, you and these damn 4th down and these analytics. I hate analytics. I'm trying to be nice. It's the holidays, okay? When are you going to learn that analytics are going to cost your team a chance to make a deep run? When? Because your ways right now are not working. These 4th down conversions. Do you remember last year? The games you blew? Pittsburgh. Okay. Other games too I could bring up. All right. These 4th down conversions, they're going to bite you in the ass one day. Okay. 0 of 2 in the red zone. Need some work there. 2 turnovers. The Ravens are sloppy at a very bad time. And last year they were sloppy due to injuries. The Ravens right now look like an alright team. They look alright. Which brings me to the Browns. Again, Deshaun Watson was okay. He's still rusty after not even playing for almost 2 full years. Nick Chubb, 21 for 99 yards. The bell cow. Feed him. Donovan Peoples-Jones, receiving touchdown. He's been a nice fantasy pickup this season. Okay? Amari Cooper had 4 catches, 58 yards. Offensive line, 3 sacks allowed. Okay? The defense, though, big reason why they won the game. 3 points allowed. They had a fumble recovery. They had an INT. They did get some big block field goal. They got a block field goal in special teams. And the elements worked in the Dog Pound's favor. Okay? They had a missed field goal for missed opportunities, but they were able to overcome it. 5 of 15 on third down. Not that great. 1 of 4 in the red zone. That needs work. Still don't think they make the playoffs, but Cleveland's got some excitement to build for next year. If Deshaun Watson can get any bit back to the playoff form he was with Houston, and with this running game and with Cooper and that offensive line gelling with the chemistry with him, they could, I'm not saying they're going to, they could if they address the defense in the offseason. That's what the Browns need. I know this game they were great, but from a big season standpoint, they need to build on their linebacking core and their secondary. Their front 4 is good. Garrett, okay, maybe one more piece up front because Clowney's injury prone, hit and miss. But you get the point. They got to build the defense, and they need Deshaun to build chemistry with his guys for a full offseason. He'll get that. Cleveland will be better next year. Miami and the Bills. Another game I had a lot of fantasy implications on. All right? Let's start with Miami first. Tua was good. 17 of 30, 234 yards, 2 touchdowns. Didn't turn the ball over. Okay. Raheem Mostert, they ran the ball very well. 17 for 136. Solomon Ahmad had a touchdown. Jalen Waddle. Thank you for going off. After 2 weeks where injuries and he just did not get the ball. I don't know for what reasons those last 2 weeks. He finally caught the ball and made plays. 3 catches, 114 yards, and a touchdown. Thank you very much. Tyreek Hill, 9 catches, 69 yards, and a touchdown. But this Miami defense, on the road, they're terrible, okay? 32 points allowed. They did get a fumble recovery. They got 2 sacks. But they can't stop anybody. Teams are just going up and down the field on them, okay? And I know they like to run that cover 0 defense, but they're just getting gashed on the road, all right? And I get it. They've played 3 quality playoff teams. But I told you, that schedule coming up, I don't like it on their part. I don't like it. I think that defense is going to be a problem. Now, they're projected to be the 7th seed. Guess who you're playing? KC, if the season ended today. You think you're going to be able to stop Kansas City and Arrowhead with that defense? Hell no. But they could score. But nope. That defense, especially on the road, they suck. Compared to home, when they're home, they're much better at home. On the road, they suck. And they're going to have to go on the road in the playoffs. 5 of 14 on third down. Not very good. 1 of 3 in the red zone. You lost by 3. Ouch. Thanks, Tyler Bass. 8 penalties for 51 yards. Green Bay's tricky. In New England, please. Oh, God, I can't wait to get to that part. And the Jets. With Mike White possibly back. I could see 2 of those teams winning that you have. Definitely know you're going to beat 1 team. I'll let you guess who that is, okay? But I do believe Miami's going to get in. I do. All right? I wouldn't worry. If they lose, to Green Bay, New England, then there's panic. I wouldn't panic yet, but I did say the schedule's going to get tougher down the stretch. I stick by that. Which brings me to the Bills side of things. Josh Allen, 25 of 40, 304 yards, 4 touchdowns. That play in the first half was huge when we look at it. Could have been incomplete, but he caught it. Tight throw, too. And that ended up being a big turning point in the game. Because they got a late score that if that doesn't get in the end zone, Miami possibly sweeps Buffalo. Okay? But Josh Allen was much better this game. Okay? Dawson, the run game was okay. Dawson Knox, 6 catches, 98 yards, and a touchdown. Cook, Morris, Hines, all out of receiving touchdown. Defense, though, last couple weeks, they look, I don't know. They don't look like the defense, not just couple weeks, but there's been glimpses. The Lions, Miami, and I'm trying to think one of the weeks before. Minnesota, like almost a couple weeks now. The higher scoring offenses, the top scoring offenses can score on the Bills. But they are going to have to, but when you play the Bills sometimes, you're going to be involved in a shootout. 45-30, 51-40 something, stuff like that, okay? That's how the Bills defense is setting themselves up. They're built to win, like, to outscore you. But there's been games, Minnesota, Detroit, Miami, where they're scoring with them. They're just not getting that extra possession to put them over the top. Minnesota ended up getting it, okay? The Lions didn't get it, okay? Miami had a fumble, but when it needed to make the stop, they couldn't do it. But this defense does concern me from the Bills. Von Miller, we're seeing right now, has been a huge loss. The Jets is different because the Jets are not really a scoring offense. They're a running game, chew the clock type offense. They did give up 29 this game, 2 sacks, no takeaways. They had the fumble, which was their only turnover of the game. 8 of 14 on third down. That's really good. 7 penalties and the 1 turnover. They have the tougher path to the 1 seed. Tougher schedule than Kansas City does. They're most likely going to be the 2, which means they're going to host a Cincy, or they're maybe going to be on the road going to Cincy if they don't win that Monday night game 2 weeks from yesterday. That's a big game coming up. That's essentially the game that gets the 2 and the 3. It's basically the game that decides, are they the 1 seed, or are you going to go from 1 to maybe a 3, depending on who loses and who wins that game. We're a little ways to go, but that's a big game to circle. Okay? But the Bills do concern me on defense. All right? Their next game is going to be interesting because there's supposed to be some weather, I heard, in that game. Winds, I heard early forecast for Chicago. We'll get to the picks in a bit. Eagles and the Bears. Now, we're just talking about the Eagles. Okay? Jalen Hurts was okay. 22 of 37 for 315, 2 INTs. Ran the ball 17 carries, 61 yards, 3 touchdowns. Had it highs and lows. 2 bad interceptions. 3 touchdowns, though, on the ground. I mean, how do you take him away? It's hard. Because he does both things well this season. Especially with the guys around him. A.J. Brown, 9 catches for 181 yards. Devontae Smith, 5 catches, 126 yards. They were great. Defense gave up 20. That works. Fumble recovery they got. 6 sacks. A lot of missed opportunities. INT, fumble. Turnover on downs, missed field goal. 5 missed opportunities, and you won by 5. That's some leaky tape out there. That somebody's looking, going, the Bears are kind of doing a little bit what the Eagles are doing with Fields. I mean, the Eagles are doing what Hurts and Lamar with the Ravens. They're doing that with Fields. Now, I don't think there's anybody that has a running quarterback that can do that in their offense. However, the Eagles are having trouble with the run defense. We're going to get to something in a minute. 9-16 on third downs, really good. 3 turnovers. They gave up 5.2 yards per rush. 5.2. If you got a running game, you have a chance to beat Philly. But you need both elements running the passing game to work. But if you can run the ball on Philly, we saw the Commanders beat them this year, running the football, taking that offense on the sideline, keeping that offense on the sideline. That's the recipe right now for Philly. I know they're winning, but the Bears, you only win by 5. That's a little alarming. Falcons and the Saints. Desmond Ridder looked like a rookie. Okay? Didn't even throw for 100 yards. The running game carried. Alligator, 17 for 139 and a touchdown. Patterson, 14 for 52 and a touchdown. Drake London, 7 for 70 yards, the leading receiver. Offensive line gave up 4 sacks. Defense gave up 21. Had a fumble recovery. 2 sacks. Your offense only has one formula. They run, and now you only have one receiver that teams are like, all right, take him away, then who you got? Not many options. Their offense is so one-dimensional. All right? They're 1-4, I believe, in the division. 1-4 in the division. Ouch. All right? Atlanta's just and they traded away Calvin Ridley. So Atlanta's clearly a rebuilding team. And they're going to have they're just building for future right now. They had the fumble. That was the one missed opportunity. 9-16 on third down. That's pretty good. They just couldn't get the drives to score when they needed to. 2 of 3 in the red zone, 1 turnover. Little things matter. They couldn't do the little things well. Which brings me to the Saints. Andy Dalton, he was okay. All right. He was all right. I'm not even reading the stats on this. Taysom Hill had a 60-yard passing touchdown to Shaheed. Juwan Johnson had a monster game. 4 catches, 67 yards, 2 touchdowns. Defense basically won the game. 1 fumble recovery, 4 sacks. Did give up 18. They had a fumble and turnover on downs as their missed opportunities. 5-11, pretty good. 6 penalties. That needs to be trimmed down. I'm not expecting the Saints to go far. I'm not. They're going to be... They got Philly coming up. They play at Cleveland, and then they play, obviously, Carolina. I mean, they could win 2 out of 3. They're not beating the Eagles. They're not. No. Sorry. They're not going anywhere. I need Kamara to bust out in a fantasy game. I'm in my semifinals. Come on, Kamara, heat up. Lions and the Jets. This game I watched. Jared Goff, 25 of 38, 252 yards and a touchdown. He was good. Made the big plays when he needed to. Didn't turn the ball over. Big game for him. Running game, they had moments. Nothing really eye-popping. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 7 catches, 76 yards. Right at the 51-yard touchdown to put them ahead. Defense, 17 points allowed. They had an INT. They got 4 sacks, 10 QB hits on Zach Wilson. Another big play that changed the game. Khalif Raymond, 47-yard punt return for a touchdown. Big plays when they needed to, and they got it. 2 drives, though. Turnover on downs early in the game. 4th and goal, they got stopped. I would have took the points, but Campbell likes going for it. They had the missed field goal. They were lucky to overcome it. 5 of 15 on third down. It's all right. 0 of 3 in the red zone and 6 penalties. The Lions I know they've won, 6 of 7, I heard? I just don't know if they're going to be able to sustain this crazy winning streak. I know the schedule looks nice. I know. But something just tells me it's just, I don't see this crazy winning streak carrying over into the playoffs. Green Bay's getting hot, and they just beat the Rams, and they got a nice schedule coming up. that I think is winnable for them. Okay? It's crazy, but it's true. But the Lions just, they've got to do the little things better if they want to win and execute the drives to win games. And they did this game, but down the road, if you want to get in the playoffs, they can score. But that defense, I don't know if I can trust them down the road. And the little things like the red zone, penalties got to go down, the missed opportunities, they got to trim that down. Which brings me to the Jets. Zach Wilson was okay. Running game flopped. Thanks, Bam Knight. You flopped for my opponent this week. Appreciate that. CJ Uzomah had 2 receiving touchdowns. Garrett Wilson, 4 catches, 98 yards. Smith, 4 catches, 77 yards. Offensive line had a rough day. 4 sacks allowed. Ouch. Defense, 20 points allowed. Problem is, Mike White can score. Zach Wilson can. That's the difference. 0 sacks, 0 takeaways for the defense. It's not like the Jets. INT, missed field goal. Zach Wilson, you can almost bank on him throwing an INT. That's what he is. Missed field goal. I didn't watch because I was watching another game, but no surprise. 7 of 14 on third down. Pretty good. 1 of 2 in the red zone. Ouch, you lost by 3. 1 turnover. Little things matter. Steelers and the Panthers. Trubisky, he had a rushing touchdown. Najee did the heavy lifting. 24 carries, 86 yards, and a touchdown. Jalen Warren, 11 for 38 and a touchdown. He's a nice backup running back for them. Deontay Johnson, 10 catches, 98 yards. Defense, 16 points allowed, 4 sacks. No takeaways, but they did just enough to win them the game. All right? 12 of 16 on third down. That is great. 75%. 12 of 16. Pittsburgh, I know it's Carolina. This is a good game you want to build for the future. This is a good game to build in the future with. Okay? 7 penalties for 81 yards. That's got to get cleaned up. But Pittsburgh's been getting better. If Pickett played against Baltimore, I think they would have probably won. But Pittsburgh's shown, outside of that first half of the season, which it was brutal, okay? Second half, they've shown they can play better ball. And I know this is a rarity that Tomlin has a losing season possibly on his resume, but they're going to be okay. They're going to be okay. Next year, they're going to be better. Watch. Which brings me to the Panthers. Sam Darnold was okay. Running game flopped. DJ Moore, 5 for 73 and a touchdown. Offensive line had a rough day. 4 sacks allowed. Hubbard had 3 catches, 57 yards. Marshall, 3 for 51. Young talent. That's nice. They just need to protect. They need an offensive line to build. And Sam Darnold's not the guy. They got to go find a quarterback. And there's some options out there. Draft, free agency. Defense gave up 26. They got 1 sack, no takeaways. Jeremy Chin had 11 solo tackles, 14 total. 4 of 11 on third down. Not good. Well, not bad, but not good either. In the middle. 1 of 3 in the red zone. You lost by 8. They got to score. They didn't. Panthers, I'd be looking for a QB in the future. That's what I'd be doing. Cowboys and the Jaguars. Sneaky good game. I said it last week. Boy, was I right. Dak played okay. 23 of 30. 256 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions that were really bad. Pollard, 19 carries, 75 yards. Zeke, 16 for 58 and a touchdown. Noah Brown, 6 catches, 49 yards, 2 touchdowns. CeeDee Lamb, 7 for 126. Hendershot had a 20-yard touchdown. Offensive line, 3 sacks allowed. Tyron Smith did play out of position. I think he played right tackle. I don't know if he's played right tackle before. But he came back in his first game. But Dak with those INTs. The competition is going to get tougher. You cannot do this against teams that are just barely above 500. And you're playing maybe a team that might be under 500 as a division winner. And if you ever lose to them, oh boy, that's going to be brutal for you. Okay? Defense really had a bad day. 34 points allowed, 2 fumble recoveries, 1 sack. They had an INT. Dak's 2 interceptions are basically what did them in. Now, an underrated thing I got to point out. Mike McCarthy, Kellen Moore. Why in any world would you throw a bomb on 3rd and 10 when you literally have Jacksonville with 1 timeout? So, are you trying to make them score? Are you trying to lose the game? What are you doing? Run, make them burn the timeout, and then make them go no huddle. What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh boy, that's inexcusable. No. 9 of 16 on 3rd down, really good. 3 of 4 in the red zone. 1 possession you want back. 2 turnovers. Hurt you. I'm a little worried for them. Texans they struggled with. Dallas looks like they're going to turn into the team in January that most people suspect they're going to be. Maybe 1 and done. I don't think they're going to be 1 and done. But if these last 3 games don't look good, it's heading that way. Which brings me to the Jags. Trevor Lawrence, again, he's rolling right now. I mean, my God, 27 of 42 for 318 yards, 4 touchdowns. Did have an interception. Etienne, 19 for 103 yards. Jamal Agnew even ran the ball well. 3 for 52. Zay Jones had a monster day in fantasy. Whoever had him, good for you. I didn't. I know somebody else in my league had him. 6 catches, 109 yards, 3 touchdowns. Christian Kirk, 6 for 92. Ingram, 8 for 62. Marvin Jones had a touchdown. Defense, the one thing I'm not sold on Jacksonville is that defense. I said they can't stop a cold, but they made some plays this game, so we have to give them the credit where it's due. 34 points allowed. Not really good because you can't expect your offense to score 35. You're not built that way. 34 points allowed, 3 sacks. Rayshawn Jenkins, 2 interceptions. He had a big game, okay? Had the walk-off pick 6, but Jacksonville, 3 opportunities you missed. Fumble, INT, fumble. Clean up the little things. You might be the dangerous team no one wants to verse in the first round. Okay? I said if you remember maybe early back when we were looking at worst to first candidates, Jacksonville was close, but I think I ended up taking, I was trying to think. I don't remember if it was the Ravens or if it was Denver, because I had Denver to make it preseason. That failed massively. I was looking at, I'm trying to think, honestly. But let's just say Jacksonville was close. I just didn't know if they could do it. Right now, there's upside. 8 of 12 on 3rd down, 3 turnovers. That's got to get cleaned up. But Jacksonville's on a nice, rare kick right now. Chiefs and the Texans. Mahomes played great, 36 of 41, 336 yards, 2 touchdowns plus a rushing touchdown. I know it's the Texans, but numbers-wise, it's impressive. Okay? Pacheco ran the ball well, 15 for 86. McKinnon, 10 for 52 and a touchdown. They got a 1-2 running game. Now they have a running game. They don't have to carry it a lot, but they need that big run, and then they'll be fine. They don't need like a 20 to 25, carry type player, but they need just a couple big runs, and Mahomes and them got the rest. Kelsey, 10 for 105. Juju, 10 for 88. McKinnon, 8 catches, 70 yards out of the backfield. Valdez-Scantling got a touchdown. That defense concerns me. 24 points allowed. 1 fumble recovery. 1 sack. They had a fumble, missed field goal for missed opportunities. Leaky cracks. And this is the Texans, who have nothing to lose. They're going to probably be number 1 pick in the draft. and you looked sloppy, and the cracks are showing. 6-12 on third down, that's good. 10 penalties for 102 yards and 2 turnovers. Oh, you guys look sloppy. You don't look that great. Cincinnati, you didn't look good. Denver, they hung around. Texans are hanging around. Are they looking ahead toward the 1 seed? Chief Bandwagons, I don't like the way you guys look. I know you're winning, but let me tell you, that's not a good sign if you're making those bad teams hanging around. Not a good sign. No, no, no. Don't worry. It's crashing down when you play Cincy or Buffalo. But you'll get the 1 seed, but don't worry. The leaky cracks are showing. Oh, God, this game. Patriots and the Raiders. All right. I'm going to flip things around for a minute. I'm going to go do the Raiders first because I got a whole lot to say about my team in a minute. But let me do the Raiders side of things. Derek Carr, 20 of 38 for 231, 3 touchdowns and a pick. Played pretty okay for the most part. Josh Jacobs, 22 for 93. The usual. Hand, no problem. Keelan Cole, 2 for 50 yards. And the tying touchdown. We'll get to that play in a moment. Darren Waller in his first game back. 3 catches, 48 yards, and a touchdown. Mac Hollins, 4 catches, 40 yards, and a touchdown. Their offensive line had a not-so-good day. 3 sacks allowed. Defense, 24 points allowed. Average. 0 sacks. We all know Chandler Jones, game-winning touchdown. We all know. 5 of 14. Not that good. In the middle. 13 penalties for 90 yards and a turnover. When have you ever seen a team win with 13 penalties for almost 100 yards? I don't know how. I don't know how. They win when they have 13 penalties for 90 yards and they lost a turnover margin. Well, it's split actually. Which brings me to my Patriots. I know it's the holidays. I really don't want to do this, but they forced me to do this. I have one word to describe the Jacoby Myers play. Shout out to my grandma for the shirt. She got me it last Christmas. I'm going to basically share it on the screen. This was basically the one word I have to say to describe that play. If you can see it, you know what it said. If you can't see it, don't worry about it. There's a lot of other things you can say. That's my answer to the play. Mac Jones, not impressed. I'm sorry. You had some overthrows. You were off on throws. We'll get to the big picture in a second. 19 carries for 172 yards and a touchdown for Ramondre Stevenson. Thank you, Ramondre, for playing. I needed every 25 points you gave me to win. I won by 20. Thank you very much. Receivers, they suck. They suck. I'm sorry. They suck this game. Defense gave up 24. Kyle Duggar had a pick 6. Okay? Defense got 3 sacks. The little things. Block punt, fumble. And then, obviously, well, block punt and the fumble. We get it. 2 of 13 on third down. 0 of 1 in the red zone. You turned the ball over once, and you had 6 penalties. Where in the hell do I start with this team? Oh, I know! The man that does everything and that nothing passes by him in terms of football decisions. That would be Bill Belichick himself. Now, I got a PSA for my Patriots. Thank you, Joe Judge. Thank you, Jacoby Myers. Thank you, Matt Patricia. Thank you, most of all, Bill Belichick, for costing us the fucking season. Good job. Good job, Bill. Good job. Your own players failed at the thing that you literally call the Bible, situational football. You have them doing a draw to a lateral to I don't know what. And that's how we lose. In a game where if you win, you tie the Dolphins, you have a chance because you play them in 2 weeks. You play them 2 weeks. Oh no. No. You get stupid. I'll tell you guys the truth. I didn't read any social media. I didn't want him. I didn't watch any talk shows. I don't want him. Especially after a loss like that. Good for me. Good for me. But that, how do you recover from that? Season's over. Season is over. Okay? I don't know what Bill is doing, but if there's any sign that he needs to go, it's this game. Okay, I have a nugget for you stat-wise. I'm going to bring up 3 coaches. You ready for this? 1, after a dynasty. 1, after he won around the same time. And another one with a track record before and a track record after his dynasty. Tell me which is which. One coach is 50.5 winning percentage, 93 and 91. Okay? One is 54 and 40 with a 51.9% win-loss percentage. And the other one is 38 and 47. Well, not 38 and 47. 75 and 77 with a 49.3 win-loss percentage. Little trivia for you today. Guess who's which? For a second. If you want to pause it, cool. If you don't, I'll tell you right now. At 51.9%, Tom Landry. That was his record post-1981 without Roger Staubach, with mostly Danny White. 54 and 50 after 1981. The next guy, 50.5%, 93 and 91. Chuck Noll after 1979. Mostly with an injured Bradshaw and basically an old steel curtain. And whoever they had before Neil O'Donnell and Bill Cowher. I can't even name the quarterback. The last guy you would never think at 49.3, 75 and 77. Guess who that was? Oh shit, it's the guy that we have right now. Our very own Bill Belichick. Let me tell you what, Bill. I hope you're glad you ruined the season for us. I really hope you're glad. Because you threw away so many games this year. Because you and your stubborn ways. And you're never going to learn. Okay? The failed experiment of the 2 idiot misfits has failed. Okay? You can't draft offense for shit. You broke our QB thanks to these 2 idiots. You can't even get any good receivers since I don't know when. Okay? You can't even get good receivers. Not even competent receivers. What did they do this game? Really? Tight ends have been, come on, man. And this is the thing. Bill's the GM and the coach. Everything I said, 10 episodes ago? After the Bears lost, go look it up. Everything I said has come true, right? When do we hold him accountable? When? When do we hold him accountable? When? People say the loss is on coaching. People say the loss is on Myers. Okay, Stevenson's getting a pass. I don't know why. Don't ask me. I'm the worst person to ask. Okay? But let me tell you this. Bill, it's going to be a long offseason for you. You better change your ways. If these idiots stay, this team is getting buried to the ground. He turned this franchise from a respected historic franchise to now we are being called a clown show and a laughingstock, what we were before he took over and Tom Brady fell in our lap. And that play is dominating sports talk shows and literally being still laughed at as the worst play. Like I said, thank you, Jacoby Myers. Thank you, Joe Judge. Thank you, Matt Patricia. And most of all, thank you, Bill Belichick, for ruining the fucking season. Great job. Great job. Now how the hell does this team get away psychologically? Oh, wait. One word. They're done. Get them off my freaking TV. I'm done with this team. Done. I got to go to another game. Titans and the Chargers. Tannehill wasn't good. I heard he got carted off. Malik Willis came in. Derrick Henry, 21 for 104 and a touchdown. I called it. He would have a big day. He had 4 catches for 59 yards. Okonkwo, 4 catches for 54 yards. Offensive line, 4 sacks allowed. Defense gave up 17. Should win the game. 2 INTs, 3 sacks. The INT and the missed field goal. Boy, you want them back. You want those possessions back. 3 of 11 on third down. 6 penalties. 1 turnover. Titans are falling apart at the worst time, just like the Ravens. Which brings me to the Chargers, who are getting hot at the right time. Justin Herbert was all right. 28 of 42 for 313 yards, 2 INTs. Eckler, 12 carries, 58 yards, and a touchdown. Herbert was okay. Eckler did pretty good. Kelly had a rushing touchdown. Keenan Allen, 8 for 86. Mike Williams, 4 catches, 67 yards. Good. Offensive line, 3 sacks allowed. Defense gave up 14. Not a lot of times you're going to hold teams to 14 and get away with it. 4 sacks, INT. Good. 4-13 on third down, though. Not good. 2 turnovers. Still sloppy. I know they're getting people back. They look sloppy, though. They're going to be fine because they're cupcake schedule. They're going to get in. But, yeah. They got some work to do. Bengals and the Bucs. Joe Burrow was okay. 27 to 39, 200 yards, 4 touchdowns, and INT. Running game didn't really do much this game. Jamar Chase, 7 for 60 yards and a touchdown. Boyd had a touchdown. Wilcox, Wiggins had a touchdown each. Defense, 23 points allowed, is good since your offense is reliable in scoring 24, okay, on most nights. 1 sack, 2 fumble recoveries, 2 INTs. When is this defense going to get the proper respect they deserve? This defense is underrated. They're definitely a top 15, maybe better in my book. They had the 1 interception early in the game, but they were able to bounce back from it. 5 of 13 on third down. That's great. The 1 turnover. Cincinnati's playing really well. 10 of 12 games they've won since 0-2. 10-2 since. Guess who they got next? Look at the schedule. Which brings me to Tampa. Tom, go man. You didn't play that well. You had 2 bad fumbles. You had some bad INTs. Running game, Godwin, 8 catches, 83 yards, and a touchdown. Gage had 2 receiving touchdowns. Mike Evans, 5 for 83. Defense had 2 sacks. INT, he gave up 34. Missed field goal. The punt, I can't explain. I didn't watch it. I was watching my team. The punt, I don't know how Bernard wasn't ready for that. The INT, fumble, INT. Tampa's just, I don't know. I don't know if they're broken. I don't know what's going on. I don't have an answer. I can't explain it. 4-12 on third down. Not good. 7 penalties and 4 turnovers. Tampa, you are running out of time to get this division in order. You are running out of time. You're not playing any bit of good ball right now. That's alarming. Wake the hell up. Giants and the Commanders. I picked the Giants to win. We'll watch last week's. But this is when you know it's been a rough year for me. Daniel Jones was okay. Like I said all year, when Saquon Barkley carries, the Giants win. 18 for 87 and a touchdown. Okay? Receivers, Defense, 12 points. That's good. That wins games. That's great. 3 sacks, 2 fumble recoveries. Kayvon Thibodeau, 9 solo tackles, a fumble recovery for a touchdown. That was the difference in the game. But the Giants, 2 of 10 on third down and 5 penalties. You won. You're going to make the playoffs. Congratulations, you have defeated my clown take. For now, I will get the last laugh in time. Maybe not this week. Maybe not next week. Maybe not the following week. But in the playoffs, I for sure will get my last laugh. I will get the end. When you guys lose, I'll be right here saying, Daniel Jones is not the guy. You guys are not very good. You guys have overachieved. Good for you. Good for you. Which brings me to the Commanders. Heineke played all right. Robinson, 12 for 89. Dotson, 4 catches, 105 yards, and a touchdown. McLaurin, 6 catches, 70 yards. Offensive line, again, when they play good front fours, they have a rough outing. 3 sacks allowed. Defense, 14 points allowed. That's pretty damn good. 0 sacks, 0 takeaways. The fumble in the red zone was a killer. That and the turnover on downs was essentially the difference in the game. Both of those possessions go right. Different conversations. 1 of 10 on third down, unacceptable. That's horrific. 1 of 3 in the red zone, terrible. 6 penalties and 2 turnovers. I said I didn't like Heineke off the bye for a reason. And now they're thinking about putting Wentz back in. Why? Did you not see what Wentz was early in the year? What are you doing, Rivera? Don't put him back in. I don't get it. Rams and the Packers last night. Rodgers was okay. A.J. Dillon, 2 rushing touchdowns. Jones ran the ball 17 times, 90 yards, had a receiving touchdown. Offensive line, 3 sacks allowed. Bakhtiari was out, but still, their O-line, Defense, 12 points allowed, 1 fumble recovery, 5 sacks, an INT. Hey, it works. They had the interception where Rodgers just overthrew Lazard. They had a fumble, which gave the Rams some life for the moment. 4 of 9 on third down. That's pretty good. 2 turnovers for 80 penalty yardage. I like the Packers' schedule. I know the records make you go, in Miami and Vikings? Really? Different team than week 1 and then Miami. I think the Packers have the formula to go win Miami and win. And then the Lions, hey, it's in Lambeau Field. And Rodgers with the game on the line against the Lions, I kind of like the Packers a lot more than that. All right, so that's the Recapping with Rich Week 15 edition. Let's go lightning fast with the Week 16 picks, shall we? Jaguars and Jets, Thursday night. Jags are hot. Jets, Zach Wilson starting over Mike White. A hot Trevor Lawrence or a up and down Zach Wilson? Easy. Jaguars win the game. Jaguars 23-20 over the Jets. Bills and the Bears. High winds are going to be at Soldier Field. I think somewhere between 25 and 30 miles an hour, and it's supposed to be, 30 degrees in Chicago, maybe lower, right? Buffalo, I think, will be okay. I think they're going to have to figure out the wind and all that stuff. I think their running game, if they can get that going, they'll be fine. But I'm worried about that defense against Justin Fields and that interesting run scheme. Sneaky good game of the week. Not saying the Bears upset, but I think it'll be interesting. Might be closer to what I'm giving you, but we're going with the Bills, but we're going 35-24 over the Bears. Browns Saints. Rusty Deshaun Watson, Andy Dalton. Smells like a dead under. 17-13. Browns over the Saints. Titans, Texans. Tennessee struggling right now. I get it. Texans have been playing the playoff contenders pretty tough lately. But it's in Titans. Texans can't stop the run. Titans run the ball like crazy. Derrick Henry owns the Texans. I think he has his way again. Give me the Titans 27-13 over the Texans. Chiefs in Seattle. Chiefs are home. How is Seattle going to stop Mahomes and Arrowhead? They can't stop the run. Lockett's out. I would have loved the 9.5 if Lockett played, but he's not. That's going to be a big piece. I'm going Kansas City 34-20 over Seattle. Vikings and the Giants. I hope Daniel Jones doesn't go off fantasy-wise or Darius Slayton because I'm versing them in my semifinals. I want to win. So, hopefully the Vikings can, recover off the emotional high, historic comeback. And I think they can beat the Giants because I don't think the Giants can score with them. So, give me the Vikings 30, Giants 23. Bengals, Patriots. This team is psychologically dead. And Bill Belichick's nothing without Tom Brady. Okay? The Bengals have won 10 of 12. Season's over for the Patriots. Blowout city. I don't know if I'm going to want to watch this game. I don't know if I want to. Might be a best bet for tomorrow's guarantee. It's tune in for that. Give me the Bengals 41-13 over the Patriots. Lions, Panthers. Panthers they didn't run the ball well against Pittsburgh. Lions can score. Still not sold on the Carolina defense, and I think the Lions will be good enough to beat the Panthers. Give me the Lions 31-17 over the Panthers. Ravens, Falcons. Falcons only have one way to win. So do the Ravens. But who do you trust more? Easy. Give me Lamar Jackson if he plays. But if he doesn't play, I think Huntley does enough. Baltimore, 20-10 over Atlanta. Niners, Commanders. Heineke against the best defense in football, and Kyle Shanahan against the team that his father used to coach. Oh, I don't know. No, actually I do. Give me the Niners, 23-10 in San Francisco. 23-10 Niners over the Commanders. Cowboys, Eagles. Jalen Hurts actually has a chance to play. Nick Sirianni said today. I just feel like Dallas has been looking ahead to this game the whole time. All right? Do I think they win? Even if Hurts plays? Okay, maybe if Hurts plays, I don't know. But if Minshew plays, it'll be close, but I think Dallas, this league works in mysterious ways. Give me the Cowboys, 23-17 over the Eagles. We'll take a chance on this. Dallas gets a win, I think. Steelers in Las Vegas. Pickett's coming back. And I'm not sold on the Raiders traveling all the way from Vegas to Pittsburgh to play a cold night game. I'll take Pickett. Give me the Steelers, 24-19 over the Raiders. Packers, Miami. Upset. We're going with it. Okay? Even though my Patriots have no hope to make the playoffs. We're going with the upset. Give me the Pack, 27-20 over Miami. I think Rodgers' abilities, the quick release. I know the young receivers are going to have to get on the same page, but I think between what Rodgers does really well, that running game, and the fact that Miami's defense, they're blitz happy, feeds into what Green Bay does well. Give me the Pack, 27-20 in Miami, the upset. Rams, Broncos. Ain't nobody care, in the words of Deion Sanders. Baker Mayfield I'll take because it's him against Brett Rippon. Not watching this game, watching NBA on Christmas for this week, for this game. Give me the Rams, 13-10. Okay? Over Denver. Bucks and the Cardinals. Colt McCoy. Come on, Tampa. If you can't beat Colt McCoy, then you guys are bad. Then it's just rock bottom. Tampa should win. I think they'll be fine. I think Kingsbury's overrated. Tampa, 27-17 over the Cardinals. Chargers, Colts. Colts are just deflated, devastated. Chargers, they're winning ugly, but I think they're going to win another ugly game. I got them winning 24-14 on Monday night over the Colts. All right, those are my Week 16 picks. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to hit that subscribe, that like button, and that notification bell so that way you guys can get all the updates you need for this NFL season when we go live with Lounge Time episodes or guarantee it's. All right? Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Lounge Time. Hope you guys have a wonderful holiday, Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. Hope you guys have a happy holiday. Enjoy the holiday. Hopefully, you guys have a good time with all the football, the bowl games, the NBA action. If you're a basketball fan, we got a lot. Okay? Have you guys have a happy holiday. I will see you guys next week on the next episode of Lounge Time. Have a good night, everyone.